or team in just a moment. We're really excited to have you here to learn more about the program, what's offered. If you've already applied, amazing. This is just going to give you a little bit more details. And if you haven't applied yet, I hope this session will provide you with the insights and confidence to apply. We are really excited to welcome our 2024 cohort of girls. And this is my third year teaching. So teaching with the Boss Girls, and I truly love the program. So let's dive in. First, I'm going to share with you a little bit about the agenda of what we're going to go through. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Zahn Center's mission. So this program is a part of the Zahn Center, and I'll explain more about that in just a bit. Then a little bit more about the Boss Girls, what the program is. We're going to meet the team. So you've already met me, what to expect, as well as some key details and how to apply. So again, if you've already applied, awesome. If you haven't applied yet, just head on over back to our website, as well as we're going to put the link in the chat in just a bit. If you're watching the live air, you could put the link in the chat. If you're watching the replay or through our live stream on YouTube, you could definitely get the link from the description below. Then we're going to have one of our amazing alumni. So Zena, she was a part of our 2023 cohort, and she's going to be talking to you about what she built and her experience in the program. And then we're going to close it out with some questions. So I'm going to start with some questions for Zena, if you all have any questions for her as well. And then any questions that you have about the program, what to expect, or anything that I didn't get an answer. So let's dive in. What is the Zahn Center? So the Zahn Center is an startup incubator program by the City College of New York. So City College is a part of the CUNY system. So CUNY has over 20 colleges and campuses across New York City. And this is our core educational system. And we believe in innovation and we support that. And so the Zahn Center is the City College, which is one of the top CUNY campuses here in Manhattan. And that's where the Zahn Center is. And we believe in entrepreneurial thinking and growth. And we think that everyone has the potential to be a change maker, and we want to help you innovate. So that's the whole purpose behind the Zahn Center. So now the Boss Girls. So when the organization Standard Chartered heard about the amazing work that was being done at the Zahn Center, they partnered with us through their Future Makers initiative, which is exactly what it sounds like, an initiative to help support the makers and creators of the future, which is you all. So this is the 8th year of this program, the Boss Girls program, happening here at Zahn Center and City College. And the goal is to just help you all build more ideas, create a more diverse innovation ecosystem, and get to experiment and learn and be creative. So that's the whole purpose of the program. We do build actual products, startups, and ideas by the end, but it's all a learning process, an experimental process, so that way you can see that you can innovate and your contributions to the world, they matter. So our amazing team includes Keisha, Miss Keisha, she is our director, and then Miss D, who is the program manager, and myself, Miss Georgie. I am the primary instructor for the class. So you can see Miss D and Miss Keisha here in the chat. Miss Keisha, do you want to say hi? Miss D, do you want to come on and say hi for real quick?
Hello, everybody. We're really excited to have you here and welcome your interest in our program. And we look forward to seeing applications from you. Thanks.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone. I'm trying to get myself spotlighted. So my name is Ms. D. I am excited to meet all of you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So literally, you're with us for 5 weeks, and we are a lot of fun, I promise. We do games, we do activities, we do field trips, and let me not spoil all the fun of the program, so I'll get to that in just a bit. But here's a little bit of a snapshot of last year's program. When the girls enter the program the first week, of course, most people don't know each other. But by the end week, trust me, you're going to feel like you've just made some lifelong good friends that could some people have pursued their ideas after the program. Some people have been able to land internships, something great to put on their college resume, and much more opportunities from participating. So it's a very exciting time. So applications will be available on our website, ccny.cuny.edu/zahn/bossgirls. But again, it will be in the chat here on the live. And if you're watching the replay, it'll be in the description. We are accepting girls from 9th through 12th grades applications, and you can be a graduating senior. So let's say you are in your 12th grade and you're going to graduate and go to college in the fall, you can still apply. No prior experience is required. And on the application, there is essay that you have to submit, some prompts that you have to answer. Just read the instructions. It's not super hard, but we want to understand where you're coming from, what your aspirations, what your goals are, because we truly want to craft the program that not just is here to educate you, but we want to learn from you as well. What are your problems that you're trying to solve? How are you trying to impact and change the world? And what activities have you done so far? So the application, I would say, set aside maybe 10 to 20 minutes to complete it. Be thoughtful, take a look at it at first. Maybe you want to think about your answers before you submit them, but it doesn't take a lot of time, and you have to apply in order to get in. So the applications close on a rolling basis. So our first round's actually already closed. It closed the end of last month, but we have our second round coming up. It will be closing next week on the 29th of February, and our final deadline is March 31st. But I encourage you, apply now, because again, it's on a rolling basis, so we don't want to run out of seats. We want you to apply in advance. Again, it doesn't take a long time to apply. Just take the time, do the application, and then you can rest assured that you're in our pool and we're reviewing you. But again, we are really excited to see your applications come in. If you have any questions about the applications, you can either access at the end of this orientation session or leave a comment or email us through our website. So the program is fully in person, and the sessions take place at City College, which is at 160 Convent Avenue in New York. Very accessible by public transportation, as well, a lot of buses, a lot of trains that get here. So again, very accessible. The program runs for 5 weeks from Mondays to Thursdays. So the sessions will be from 10:30 to 1:30 p.m. And our first day will be July 1st, and our last day will be August 1st. Plan to be in class every day. Again, we have some field trips, but we would meet at the school first and then proceed to the field trip for the most part. As well as we understand, the July 4th holiday is in that time. So July 4th, there will, of course, not be any class. So try to coordinate with your family members, your parents, to ensure that you are in class for July 1st through 3rd, because attendance policy. So that's what the next I'm going to dive into. Attendance the first week is mandatory. So July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is mandatory, because that's where all the magic starts, right? You are going to come into a room with over 30 strangers, and you met me here and Miss D and Miss Keisha, but we want to get to know you. That's where a lot of the bonds are built. That's where a lot of the initial communication happens. We do a lot of activities to understand what products and services that we're going to build, right? Start ideating. There's some workshops. So that first week is us setting the foundation. And from that solid foundation, we're going to build a beautiful summer together. But we understand life happens, emergencies happen. So if you we're allowing, one absence, at a later time, but try not to miss any sessions, because everything's happened so fast, and it is not recorded because it is in person. So you want to make sure that you're there to encourage yourself as well as encourage your team, right? You will be in a team setting, so everyone is in this together. So we definitely want to make sure that you are there and attending. So definitely speak to your family about any trips, any holidays that you have planned. That way it's either before the program or after the program. Again, the program is from Monday through Thursday, excluding the first Thursday, which is July 4th. Federal holiday, so we will not have class that first Thursday. Some of the topics we get to cover together is design thinking, customer research. And before I go down this list, if you have no idea what any of these things are, please don't be worried. We start from scratch and we explain everything. We have guest lecturers come in, myself, Miss Keisha, Miss D, we teach the classes to you all. And, Zena might tell you a little bit later, but if you didn't understand what these things are, we give you the intro level to it, and then we allow you to build on it, experiment, test. So don't be too nervous, right? But these are some of the topics: business model development, marketing, branding, user experience, financials. Like, we really go from start to finish of how you build your business MVP, which stands for minimum viable product. So that's the first version of your product or service. We have mentors from Standard Chartered that come in. We have mentors and facilitators from our ecosystem of entrepreneurs, business owners, corporate professionals that come in. You get to network with students from other schools. Again, we do the field trips. Last year, we went on a pretty cool field trip to MasterCard's office, and that was fun. And it was just a very exciting experience. We did a tour of Harlem. So we can do a lot, but we definitely need you to be there. We need you to apply first, right? Get into the program and then be present with us for those 5 weeks. So here's, another set of photos, but look how involved these students are. But again, we come together, we are a team, and we make magic happen over those 5 weeks. So now I'm going to welcome Zena, which she is one of our 2023 alumni, and she's going to share with you all what she did in the program, a little bit about herself, as well as what she was able to build. So Zena, welcome up.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. A little bit about myself. My name is Zena Shalan, and I go to Queens Metropolitan High School. I joined Bossgirls so I can get a full experience of why I wanted to become a business entrepreneur, businesswoman, just to be involved in the field. I've known that I wanted to pursue a business because I knew that I wanted to have something that I can change the world with. If I didn't know where to start, but I knew I wanted to make a change. And Boss Girl really helped me learn how to create that change because I learned how to shift my mindset from the regular school mindset that some of us might be trapped in, but overall, I got to learn and pursue how to change my mindset from that regular mindset to an entrepreneurial mindset. And I learned that all from my mentors from like Standard Charter and just the alumni you guys have here, Miss D, Miss Keisha, Miss Georgie. They all helped me hone my skills because they taught me and covered all their bases. So I want to tell you a little bit about my startup. So Health Yourself came to be when I met my group of girls. Their names are listed there, Ingrid and Daphne. They're the sweetest girls ever. And our business is based off of a problem called the One NYC goal. So NYC sets goals that we aim to fix by 2030, I believe, or 2050. And so our business is based off of health and knowing how to uh, kind of know how to set health goals on a daily basis because now we live in a world of junk food and fast food that we kind of almost forget that there's value in eating healthy fats and there's value in carbs and having that balanced diet. So we focus on our problem statement. So what is the problem that we're trying to focus on? We know that we're looking to fix a health problem, but you really hone in by creating a problem statement. So ours was many teenagers struggle with health and food due to poor education on healthy eating habits, and that often leads to physical and mental illnesses. So we did a little bit of research to back that up, and you could see here by our charts that 40% of NYC public students are obese and overweight, and this obesity causes and leads to chronic illnesses such as diabetes and obesity and heart attacks later on. And we obviously see that it is a huge problem because it continues to grow as we head into the 2020 mark. And now we're in 2024. So even 4 years later, this chart could be off the roof. So we decided to really hone on this problem because if it continues to grow, it could really affect our youth, which is our future generations. So our solution was to teach teenagers, specifically ages 12 to 18, how to diet and know their nutrition values and modern their eating habits via video game. So our app would be in our dream, it would be in multiple different languages, so it'd be accessible to multiple different students, and it would be within school systems, so teachers, especially health teachers and gym teachers, could have access to a resource that could help students learn not only about their eating habits, but learn how to properly portion their food, learn the value in eating more vegetables and not junk food, because I think most students just eat what they're given or eat what is available to them, and they don't truly understand the benefits or the harm of eating either either way. So a little bit about what I did in the company. I designed our logo. It was a little bit of knowing how to just use an app on my iPad. I literally sat in the car as I was getting to heading to the college. I was sitting there trying to design my logo. So I did find joy in the commute to CCNY, and this kind of came out of my time there. We also, like I said before, we learned how to target an audience, and that was our teenagers. We specifically did middle and high schoolers because we know that that is the time when children are the most developing, and these children need to learn how to properly manage their food, because that is the time where they're going to learn the most and take it on to college and even within their daily lives as adults. So one of the things we learned at our boot camp in Bossgirls is learning the difference between a value proposition and things companies need. So our value proposition, or what does your company value, because that is kind of your motivation to continue your company, is we valued students' education and students' healthy lives. So we know that we needed to take this app to schools because that is where it's going to be most valued. And we learned that these students would benefit most if it was easily accessible to them, not just on their phones and computers, but like having it set within a daily lesson, because you're kind of already there. So might as well use something that could benefit you in the future. As I spoke before, we met our role models, not just the ones that are sitting in front of you, but also from Standard Chartered. And one of the most role models that spoke out to me was the founder of Piggy's Repair Shop. She was a guest speaker that came in, and she spoke about her personal experience, about how she started from scratch during the pandemic and now is owning a semi-successful business. So her story really spoke out to me because she kind of started out telling us about how her family situation wasn't the best. She had a son in the hospital, and she was working 2 jobs, and her employer was not respecting her family being in the hospital. So she decided to leave that work environment, and she ended up, while stuck at home, like most of us, she started her own business. She created a business, and it grew from the pandemic to now she has a shop, and she went from shops to teaching little kids. And she was telling us about how the amazing 5 and 6 year olds could take a phone and repair them, because it's amazing how students that are 5 and 6, maybe even like 8 and 9. She was teaching a range of all kinds of students um, how to fix something, because I think most students kind of lose the value of just being on the phone and not knowing the technology behind it. So she was bringing that interpretation into students' lives. Like Miss Georgie mentioned, we have our mentors, and these are from Standard Chartered. So we had 2 wonderful mentors. Miss Olivia was just starting out. She was a student at Columbia University, and Miss Pierre, she had a little more experience with the program and working at Standard Chartered, and they were both incredible help. If one of the mentors wasn't available, someone was always there for us, no matter whether they were busy or not. They were great support in guiding us in our journey, because Health Yourself didn't start out as an app. It started out with 5 of us, and we lost a couple members, but we still kept going. We started off as wanting to create certifications for certain brands, but we realized that too complicated, and it was okay to start over because sometimes you have a plan and it doesn't work out, and you always have to pivot, even though you're short on time and you have to redo everything. But that's kind of the lesson you learn. We also had a little bit of fun. So I think this was my favorite trip. We went to MasterCard, and it just shows you how technology and business can really grow, because I think in the first picture with the map is the security that they had at MasterCard. I think that was amazing to witness, because they were telling us how they would go through this security system within milliseconds, and I was surprised because it's kind of creepy but also kind of interesting how you can just press your fingerprints on a button and it just goes through this line of security within milliseconds. So that was really interesting. And then we also took a tour throughout uh, MasterCard, and you could see they had a mini greenhouse and they had a huge ping pong table that we all wanted to try out, but we had to move on. And then we went to the rooftop. It was incredibly sunny that day, but we got to enjoy the nice view, the scenery. It was just a beautiful place, and it was definitely my favorite. By the end of that, I think most, if not all of us, wanted to work at MasterCard. We were willing to drop everything and just work there. So that was an amazing experience. But I want to say that my favorite part was creating community within Bossgirls. I found a lot of girls that were motivated and like-minded like me, and they all wanted to be businesswomen and strong career women within the end. And I really got to see that because within 5 weeks, we were there together almost 4 days a week, and we got to spend times with each other and we exchanged phone numbers. And now you have these amazing connections and experiences with these girls that you might not have met or heard of unless you went to Boss Girls. And now I have this amazing community I know I can rely on. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Zena, for telling us your story and then sharing your experience with us. And, it's one thing for me as an instructor to say, yeah, it's fun, it's cool, right? Like, I want you to apply. But this is a real life story. She came through the program with her cohort. They were all able to build things. We had a demo day at the end. So I don't think I mentioned that. So at the end, we have a accumulating experience where everyone gets an opportunity to pitch in your groups, and your family members are invited. And it's just, a lovely day. We have lunch, and that's at the Standard Chartered offices, which is so beautiful. But from start to finish, our goal is to really support you into seeing raising the bar for your full potential. So I'm gonna ask Zena a couple questions, just 2 questions, and then is there any questions that anyone has in the chat that they would like us to answer? Okay, actually, I'm gonna have you all ask the question. So I see there's a question for you, Zena, so I'll read this question. What are the qualities of an entrepreneurial mindset that you learned? Was the poor quality of NYC DOE lunch addressed in your project? So that was a question for you, Zena. So maybe 2 parts. What was the entrepreneurial mindset that you learned? And then we'll answer the one about lunch after.
I think I went in knowing what my entrepreneurial mindset was. Like, I knew I had to be passionate about my work, which we all were. But I think we refined that I learned how to create a business plan. So knowing your profit, your revenue, and then knowing your target audience, your competition is important, because if someone's already doing the same thing as you, what makes you better? And I think that was also a challenge we had within our company, because there's so many food plans out there and people claiming that they can do better for your health, but no one was targeting students, and that's what made us different. We were targeting teenagers because no one was wanting or willing to target us, because they were afraid that you just wait until you're older or wait until you have adult privileges. But why wait when you can nip the problem in the bud? So I think that really helped me grow. So knowing not just the terms, but knowing the knowledge behind them really helps you grow, because you kind of lay out a business plan, and being more planned helps you kind of shift that mindset, like I was talking about. And then I think DOE lunches, I think we did speak about them, but we didn't really target them because our app offered not food, but like um, we offered knowledge on knowing how to properly portion your food, and our app was built on creating this character that kind of almost looks like you, and you would be played through all these stages, and these stages taught you how to go from learning about, say, the basics, so learning about your body and your different system, your body types, and then going to learn about the difference between healthy fats and carbs and protein, because that's a balanced meal. So I think DOE lunches do have to be changed, but I think that was not our main focus. We were focusing on the educational side.
Thank you so much, Zena. And so I'm going to ask you one more question and then I'm going to let you go, but I really appreciate your time. And then I see we have some questions in the chat about the program. So if there's any more of those, definitely please submit them in the chat. So Zena, my final question for you is, what is one thing, if everything else that you said so far didn't sell them in, what is the one biggest takeaway that you've gotten from the program that made everything else worth it?
Oh wow, you're making me look through so many memories. Okay. Um, I would say the connections and the time that you built at the end. I think when we did the pitches at the end, that was my favorite moment because it kind of just sums up what you've been working on for the past 5 weeks. You kind of see your work kind of just at you, and you're kind of showing your family what you've accomplished, why they've put in the hard work. So funny story. My dad would always complain about driving me from Queens to CCNY. So at the end, when I brought him to see my pitching and see my project, he was surprised in how all of this came together. He was like, "You look so confident. You could sell me anything with that mindset, with your words. You made me believe what you were saying." And I was surprised what he said because after all our struggle to get to CCNY, I think it was amazing to see that opportunity and see how I proved to him that I can get the most out of this program.
I love that. I love that. I love that, your dad, he's like, okay, I won't complain about the rides anymore. But that's beautiful. So, if there are any parents in this session watching, right, it's not just it's a holistic thing, right? Your child gets evolved, but then the relationship and how they build the foundation for their future also gets to be evolved. So thank you so much for being with us, Zena. We always love having you, and we're excited to welcome the next class of the Boss Girls. So I see some questions here in the chat. How do you evaluate the application? So we have an evaluation team of experts that support us. And I just put on the finale slide. So if you need any more information, you could go to our website, events, social media, etc. But we have a team of evaluators that screen as well as score each applicant, and multiple evaluators review each application. So we have, again, this has been going on for the last 8 years. So we have a screening team and then a scoring process, a rubric that we use. But the key thing that we're looking for is a person or individuals that are willing to invest the time and energy into themselves. So for example, someone that just puts like one-word answers on all the different prompts on the survey, all we have is in the application are these questions. We haven't seen you, we haven't hung out with you, we don't know anything beyond your name and the information you submit. So if you're giving us only one sentence, that doesn't paint a full picture of who you are and why you want to be here with us, right? So we want people that want to be here. So when you're filling out your application, take some time to think about it, right? So like I said, go and look at the application now and maybe ideate about your answer, your responses. They're not difficult questions, but we want you to be thoughtful. We want people that are intentional, people that are going to show up and be active when they get a community. Because as Dina said, you're going to build a community. You have to work together. There is no solo projects. There is no there's small little, homeworks you might have to do independently, but overall, it's a together program. Like, we are in this together, and that's just how the working world goes. Everyone is connected. And so if you're not a team player or willing to be open to ideas or, willing to give suggestions and feedback and interact, then unfortunately this program is not for you. We want people that's going to show up, be committed, work hard, work smart, and really push themselves, right? We give you the tools, but you have to use them and allow us to help you push yourself to the best version of you. Another question is that, do we provide Metro cards for students that are commuting? We have provided Metro cards thus far. As we know, it's New York City, so we're currently in the process of sourcing those Metro cards, but we have historically provided Metro cards to students that are commuting. So someone asks, have some sponsors like Standard Chartered. Can you explain? Okay, so Standard Chartered essentially is the organization that is sponsoring the program. So what that means is that they are the ones ensuring that we get to execute this program every year and providing the resources to do that. And they also provide us with mentors that come in and support the students through their round robins, or just support them to understand how are they thinking about their business, are their financials good, as well as we have some Standard Chartered employees that sometimes come in and teach different sections, mostly in the financial area, because Standard Chartered is a financial institution, so they usually come in and teach about the financial parts. All right, so we have a few more minutes. Are there any other questions? Again, go ahead and apply to the application. The second round application closes on February 29th, 2024, and then the final deadline for the applications is going to be March 31st. Get your application in sooner than later. The sooner you apply, the sooner you get a notification if you've been accepted or not. But we do have a cap of how many students we can accept. So get your application in earlier than later, so that way you are guaranteed a seat if we feel like your application meets the criteria of the evaluation process. Awesome. So I'll give it another minute or two to see if we get any more questions. But nonetheless, thank you all so much for being here. Either if you're joining us live on Zoom, if you're watching the replay on YouTube, hello there. We look forward to seeing your application. If you are a school or a parent or a person that works at a school, please share with students, parents. This again is their 8th year of doing this program, and we really encourage students to apply so that way we could evaluate them and get them in. We love engaging with local students. If you can commute, that's even better. Or if your dad needs to drop you off, that's cool too. But just get here. We have an amazing program in store for you. And every year it gets better and better. And this year we have some really exciting stuff that's in the works. So we can't wait to see your applications and start the program July 1st, 2024. Thank you, everybody. So I see one last question. So international students, so I'll say this, if a person is international, as long as you are able to make your way to New York. So we've had people from other states and other cities come. So if you already have all of the proper documentation to allow you to be in New York City during the time of the program, then you can be accepted. But unfortunately, we don't provide any additional lodging or documentation for you to get here. So if you could get here on your own, definitely apply, include a note about that in your application somewhere, so that way we can know that you can make it to the program if your initial information is international. But yes, anyone from anywhere can apply, as long as you can make your way to the program physically for July 1st to August 1st. Awesome. So with that, we'll close. If you have additional questions, please do email us. It was lovely talking to you all today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to spend the summer with you guys. Spend the time being your instructor this July to August 1st. Alrighty. Thank you so much, everybody.